Hi guys, it's Mrs. Milson. Okay, this should be a quick video because I'm going to show you a for each loop, which is a shortcut for a for loop going through an array. Okay, so in the last video, we had an array of integers called ages. What is it, about 7 elements in there? And we created a for loop to print each element of the array by using its index number. So we started index 0 and went all the way up to the length, or one less than the length because we didn't equal the length. So it just printed 12, 23, 52, and so forth. Okay, let me run this so we can see that. Okay, so there's my 12 through 19, which is just my array. Then we used a for loop to traverse through the array, and then as we're going through it, we're going to increase each value. Okay, so when I increased each value by 2, these values are now 14, 25, 54, and so forth. I've added 2 to each one. So if I came through here, I'm going to copy this again, and I printed the array again, that second loop actually changed the values in the array. Okay, now let's do a for each loop, which will allow us to go through the array items quicker, but there are some limitations. Okay, so I'm going to take this for loop right here that we created to print all the ages. Okay, I'm going to bring it over to another file. I'm just going to paste it. Okay, so we're going to turn this into a for each loop. So what I do is I don't need all of this stuff up here because it is built in. Okay, all I need is another variable. So I'm going to call it the ages. Okay, and I'm going to do a full colon and then the array name. Okay, so now all I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here and I'm just going to print out, oops, that variable I created. Okay, so what's going on in here is that index from 0 to the length minus 1 and the increment are all built in. Okay, so it'll go through each index 0 all the way up to the length minus 1, and it'll save the value as the ages. And then I'm going to print that out. Okay, so this is a lot faster than having to write all the other code. And here we go. I've got my array from 12 to 19. Okay, so I can do the same thing using this for each loop to change the values. Okay, I'm going to come back here and I'm going to copy and paste the loop that I created to change all the values. Okay, and I'm going to turn it into another for each loop. So again, I don't need all this stuff, but I do need another variable. I'm going to call it new ages, colon, and array name. Okay, it has to be the array name. And then I'm going to take the new ages and increase them by 2. Okay, so right now, new ages is going to grab 12, 23, 52, 72. It's going to grab each element in the array from index 0 all the way up to the last one. And I'm just going to add 2 to it. And then, of course, I'm going to print out the new ages. Okay, just like I did here, right? So I should see 14, 25, 54, and so forth. Did I say 15? 14, 25. Okay, so it did. It printed it out. However, there is a limitation here. It changed the values in this one part of the code and printed them out, but didn't actually change the values inside the ages array. Okay, so if I come over here, I'm going to copy and paste this and actually print the array again, just grabbing all the values that are now in the array, okay? Because looking at this, I'm thinking my array has now changed. This should be 14, this should be 25, when in reality, it didn't do that, okay? So if I print my array a second time, the array never really changed, okay? This was a short-term fix just to get 2 added to all the elements and print them. It didn't actually change the value of the elements in the array, okay? Because I can see when I printed the array again, it's back to the 12 through 19, okay? So there are limitations to the for each loop. If you need to change the values of an array permanently, okay, so we're going to use them later on, don't use a for each loop, okay? You should come back and use a true for loop so it makes sure it's changing the value of the elements inside the array. But if all you want to do is print, okay, your array, you can use your for each loop because it'll go through. It's just a little shortcut in code. It'll just go through and grab all the values from index 0 to the end and print them. Okay. So again, there are limitations to that for each loop, but it is nice and fast if you want to get through the elements quickly. Okay. All right. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you later.